In February of 2008, in a momentary lapse of reason, I joined eHarmony. I was 46 years old, never married, living my life in the city. I owned a 2-flat in Ravenswood. My parents lived downstairs. I loved my job. I traveled a lot, and I went to about 10 or 20 Bruce Springsteen shows a year. And I hadn't been on a date in decades. I did the whole personality quiz thing. It's really, if anyone's considering it, it's not that bad. It's, it's sort of self-absorption, but official. It's even a Scantron thing, I think, for the older people who don't use a computer. But the first guy who looked cute was Andy from Glencoe. He was a single dad raising 3 girls, and he worked as a software architect. Again, intriguing. I had only a couple criteria for a first date, and he met almost all of them. He had to like animals. He had to watch The Daily Show and Colbert every night. He had to be a Bruce Springsteen fan, although there is a sliding scale, and I was willing to take anybody on this scale. And he had to be a political news junkie. He had to agree with everything I ever said or thought, including George Bush and Dick Cheney are war criminals. And what I thought was the most important was he had to be at least my height, which is 5'10". He said he was 5'9"-ish. You'll lie in those first couple of days, back and forth. So we emailed for a few weeks before our first date, which was on leap day, February 29th, 2008. But by the time we met, he'd shrunk to 5'6½". And there he remains. Things went so well that first night he invited me to come up the next night to Glencoe to meet his kids. I knew this broke every rule of dating for people with kids. There's whole books about it. But hey, they weren't my kids, you know. So I went. I walked in the house and I encountered 3 very small people lined up in order of height, waiting to shake my hand. And I thought, good God, how many times have they been forced to do this? Was this like, this was a Tuesday? Is this, are they mixing me up with last Tuesday or what? I did not know. This was again my second date on the first person I met on eHarmony. I'm wondering, Cassidy was 12, Hannah was 9, and Honor was 6, and they were so cute. We ordered Chinese food, and Honor drank an entire quart of wonton soup out of the tub. And she put it down. She says, I always do that. Cassidy asked me, you don't have a teenage daughter, do you? No. Okay, well, can we go to Claire's sometime, maybe? I said, sure, what's Claire's? And then Hannah threw out some facts about how safe it was to live in Glencoe. Did you know all the cops here are cross-trained as firemen and paramedics? And we left our front door unlocked once and nothing happened. Just so you know. They were so cute and so in need of attention, I fell in love with them right then and there. It was like when you walk by one of those pop-up pet adoption events and end up bringing home a special needs rescue puggle. You tell everyone, his name is Mr. Tuffy, and he chose me as his forever mom. The girl's mom, Andy's wife, Judy, had died of cancer 4 years earlier, on May 27, 2004. The void she left was deep and cold and quiet, and nobody in our house really talked about her or their feelings about her death. A professional organizer had come in and packed up all our stuff and clothes and stuff and put them in plastic bins in the basement. And then I learned very soon after that Hannah and Honor, who were 9 and 6 at the time, their security blankets, and they call them their wheelies, they were Judy's pajamas. And they still have them and they still sleep in them. It was a couple nights later on our third date. So So this is all, compressed into a 5-day time frame, FYI. Andy said, I'm going to ask you to marry me, but I'm going to wait until enough time has passed that you won't think I'm kidding. And I said, just ask me. The hell. And he did, and I said yes, and we set the date for August 30th of 2008. He's over there somewhere. Hi, honey. But after I committed, I thought, I should probably let some other people know about this. So the shock and awe that ensued among my family and friends is a story for another time. My poor parents, who lived downstairs from me, I saw them every day, and I hadn't even told them I'd been on a date. I talked to my best friend Jane every day. She's over there too. But somehow none of us had come up. It just was too, once you say it out loud, it's way too real. So all of a sudden I'm like, Mom, I met someone, we're engaged, I might have to move out. Oh, that's okay. So what I'm going to tell you about right now is a series of firsts I experienced in my new life as a Glencoe mom with 3 girls and a husband. And just for reference, the girl's name for me is Mumsy. The first time I met the girls' Aunt Susie, their mother's sister, who also lives in Glencoe, I barely had my coat off when she asked me what my thoughts were about a theme for Cassidy's bat mitzvah. Before I could ask, what's a theme? Or for that matter, what is a bat mitzvah? She said, well, Carol, my mother-in-law, reserved the ballroom at the Northbrook Hilton, but really the choice venue is up to you, as the mother. Have you put a deposit down on a DJ? They booked 2 years in advance. There might be one left, but I kind of doubt it. Has Cassidy said anything about her giveaway? Most kids do sweatpants with their party logo, but Andy's mom said something about needing everybody a pillow. A lot of kids in Glencoe keep kosher. The caterer needs to know how many. And who's doing the invitations? They'll need the Pantone color numbers for your theme. A theme, a logo, sweatpants, pillows, kosher, DJs. This is my first exposure to the Mitzvah industrial complex. It's a milieu that I consider myself an expert in. I advise people regularly. I don't even take a fee. In Cassidy's 7th grade class at Glencoe Central, of 137 kids, there were 95 bar mitzvahs that year. She was invited to 60 of them. Thankfully, that didn't mean 60 dresses. The girl has some sense. But I really didn't know yet what I was getting into. And so I said, how about our theme was cookout? We'd have everyone over and serve kosher hot dogs, baked beans, watermelon, they all love watermelon, and cake in the backyard. We could even rent a bouncy house for a little while. It wasn't until I picked her up in one of these events at one of the country clubs that I saw what we were in for. So the party ended up somewhere in the middle. Years later, it was either she or Hannah said, Cassidy's party was, you mean a party that you would enjoy. I didn't even enjoy it. I was too stressed. Okay, so again, the whole party thing, another story for another time. Our first road trip as a family was to a friend's cabin in Wisconsin. At one point, a fight erupted in the back seat of the car over something major. I think it was about who ate all the sour cream and onion potato chips. I said, everybody shut the fuck up. I cannot drive with all this bullshit going on back there. I really hate noise in the back seat. It got very quiet for a minute, and then Cassidy whispered, Mumsy, we don't swear. Well, that's like telling me I'm going to have to go with 50% less oxygen. I was in a bind. So eventually I told him, I'll try not to swear before 9 p.m. After that, girls, all motherfucking bets are off. My first concern, or maybe it was a red flag, about Andy happened on that same road trip. We were driving on a 2-lane road north of Madison, my home state, and manner of speaking. And we passed a farm, and there were maybe 100 or so cows in the barnyard, and Andy said, "Oh, the cows are lying down." It sounded very Garrison Keillor-esque. "That means it's gonna rain." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, they know once the rain starts, they all go in the barn, there won't be enough room for everybody to sit down. That's why they're sitting now while they have the opportunity." He wasn't kidding. He was mansplaining bovine psychology to me. In my actual life, an observation like that would call for some serious snarky mockery, but he was my fiancé. So I said, "Oh, I never heard that." Okay, the next verse was when I realized that, when I really sunk in what moms mean when working moms mean when they say they have 2 full-time jobs. Is when Eileen, the not good, very good nanny, sorry Andy, she quit after I'd been there about 6 months or so. I'd been laid off, but that's, again, a story for another time. So that meant making the job of lunches, doing 5 people's laundry, managing financing, driving the Miss Daisies, making dinner fell to me. And our house is in the middle of Glencoe, so I'm thinking, about the chauffeuring, which I've heard, dreadful things about that. And Caroline's, I'm thinking, no problems. The girls could get most places on foot or by bike. I'd only have to chauffeur them to any place far. But it turned out that too far was the end of the driveway. I've done so much fucking driving in the last 7 years, I can't even tell you. Hannah, the middle one, has no sense of direction, no sense of distance. What is that called? Like a spatial dysmorphic disorder? I don't know what it is. 2 of her best friends live within a block and a half of us. And she says, "Can you come get me?" And she honestly doesn't know how to get home. And I'm making fun of her now because she's not here. And it's a serious problem that needs to be made fun of, so she corrects it. As far as dinner, when I was single, dinner was like popcorn and red wine. I used to get those big, the one with the kangaroo on it. What is that, yellowtail? Yeah, like the big Cabernet fella. Pretty little one, we know. So that was me. I sat there and watched The Daily Show with Colbert. But I couldn't even remember, as far as cooking, I couldn't remember I'd ever even touched uncooked meat. I'm 46, this is not cool. So the first thing I did was I Googled, what do people eat for dinner? And then one night early on when I was struggling to get food on the table, Honor came downstairs and she said, "Mumsy, I'm starving. Is dinner ready?" "No, not yet, about 20 minutes. And this is a girl in Glencoe. She says, "And there aren't even any appetizers?" She's 6. The first time we had the "what do you want to be when you grow up" conversation, condo, Cassidy said she wanted to be on Broadway one day. When she was 9, her grandparents had taken her to New York to see some shows. And she did a lot of musical theater in middle school and high school. And then she declared at some point, right after the trip, "I'm going to NYU." And I'm happy to say, because of me, I'm sure, last week she completed her first year at NYU. This is a girl who came to me in crisis in 10th grade and said, "Mumsy, can you tell me the difference between pot and weed?" I said, "I can tell you the difference between Quaaludes and Percocet." Yes, I can help you with that question. The next time the college conversation came up, Honor, the 6-year-old who had attached herself to my hip when she knew I was for reals, she's like, okay, you seem like you're staying. You're not going anywhere. She told me she'd done some research, and she said, I checked online, I don't have to move away to go to college. I'm going to be an assistant dog whisperer. And there are schools around here for that. A lot of people ask me after we've been married for a while whether marriage and motherhood was what I envisioned it would be like. But there's a problem. I never was a girl who dreamt of 12-piece place settings or saying yes to a dress. I ended up buying a wedding dress that was like way too booby. My photographer had to like Photoshop out some of the cleavage and the sweat. So yeah, what I did was I jumped into a river, blindfolded and handcuffed, and I've spent the last 7 years trying to get back to shore. Some days I'm drowning, other days it feels like a thrill ride on Class 5 rapids. If I ever get back on dry land, I'm going to go straight home to my people in Glencoe. I'm going to walk in the door and no doubt somebody will ask me, why aren't there any clean towels? Thank you.